Beginning in the 1950s, film became the primary delivery system for subversive ideas, taking dead aim at the social institutions and values that upheld the social order. Visual drama was especially important for its ability to bypass rational thinking and exploit the vagaries of human emotion, pushing the boundaries of taboo through a combination of satire and emotive sequences. Iconic stars, both male and female, were used to promote the new system and to chide traditional models.
Yes, when it's hot like this, you know what I do? I keep my undies in the icebox.
In the icebox?
Marriage was portrayed as repressive and patriarchal.
What are you gonna do now? Are you gonna hit me to show me how much you love me?
Don't worry, I can't be bothered.
The family as stifling and defunct.
It's not a place for kids.
Parents were often depicted as control freaks, out of touch with the times.
You're tearing me apart!
What?
You say one thing, he says another, and everybody changes back again!
That's a fine way to behave.
Fathers as domineering and dim-witted.
Come on, get up! Get up! Fight back, you little pussy!
No, sir, I won't fight you!
Mothers as neurotic nags.
You ungrateful little brat! Just look at everything you have! When I was your age, I lived in a duplex.
But the assault on values ran deeper than simply a critique of marriage and marital roles. On screen, female characters were increasingly masculine, self-reliant, and willing to use violence.
Don't call me stupid.
They were often money-driven and eager to use their sexuality to attain their goals. Male characters became effeminate and unassuming. Marriage became an unnecessary trapping, which the cooler male vehemently avoided.
What have you got against marriage, anyway?
Jonathan, before a man gets married, he's like a tree in the forest. He stands there independent, an entity unto himself. And then he's chopped down. His branches are cut off, he's stripped of his bark, and he's thrown into the river with the rest of the logs.
Today, the gender lines are almost completely blurred, with women behaving more like men, and the men increasingly appropriating feminine traits.
Please don't patronize me. You know, I may live with my parents and get drunk off of half a beer, and yeah, I admit to being slightly adrift thus far in my life. But I'm not.
We saw proliferating messages of infidelity disguised as emancipation, the breakdown of traditional structures, and the promotion of new forms of scandal.
Mrs. Robinson, you're trying to seduce me.
We saw the smearing of traditional archetypes and the creation of new ones. While depictions of sex increased steadily from the 1950s onwards, romance lost its role as a driver of plot. Sex became its own end.
When I'm with a guy, I'm like a robot. I just do it.
You and I are such similar creatures, Vivian. We both screw people for money.
Procreation was first trivialized and then rejected altogether.
Having children, it's like it's living with little mini drug addicts. You know, they're laughing one minute, and then they're crying the next, and then they're trying to kill themselves in your bathroom for no good reason. They're very mean and selfish, and they burn through your money, and they break you.
Once again, remember, the prime intent was to break the old culture of boy meets girl, going together for a while, getting engaged, getting married, having children. The family unit, they'd said, when they had the League of Nations, which was the precursor of the United Nations, said they'd have to destroy the family unit. Pretty well all of H.G. Wells's non-fiction books promotes all of this agenda. And in fact, he coined the term in the late 1800s. This is how far back this agenda of promiscuity had to go. He coined the term free love. And in one of his books written before 1890, he says, we must promote free love in order to destroy and end the obsolete family unit. Once that's done, he said, the family is no longer in the way when government comes for an individual. Each individual will be solely responsible to the government itself, and no family will stand up around them like a primitive tribe and defend them.
You want to kill your own father?
While film attacked the family, other culture-creating mediums reinforced the propaganda. We saw the emergence of the music video, which combined provocative images, the gyrations of iconic performers, and salacious lyrics to degrade entire generations. All kinds of degeneracy, packaged in the rhythmic pounding of hip-hop and techno music, was delivered through iPods and smartphones the world over. Sexual mores were loosened and more relaxed. Laissez-faire culture took root. This was not a new idea. The seeds of this movement were sown long ago, not by avant-garde performers, but by high-browed intellectuals working in think tanks under obscure governmental mandates.
We tie that in with another big player, Lord Bertrand Russell, who had experimental schools under royal charter, where he could do things that anyone else would be locked up for doing. He said in his own schools, and there were mixed schools, he said that if he could encourage pre-pubertal sexuality amongst the children, encourage multiple partners from before puberty, he says the chances, because of study and observation, the chances of them ever bonding with one person for the rest of their life was pretty well obsolete, null and void, wouldn't happen.